Hello and welcome to Analog to DCC Conversion Part 1 Introduction video, where we are going to be removing the analog board from your locomotive and replace that with a DCC digital board. I use the one from Digitrax, the DCC board from Digitrax, and pay careful attention to the model number that you will need for your particular locomotive type. The locomotive I have is an EMD-E9A over here, which has a specific model number of the DCC board, which is DN163K0a. The next thing that you're going to need for this is just a simple pair of scissors. You will need that, that's important, just for miscellaneous things like cutting your Kapton tape, for example. A little thumbtack that I use to remove a little clip from my actual DCC board in my locomotive. It's a little clip and you can use anything which is sharp, like a pointed object. One of the other things you're going to need is one of these cutters. Please be careful, they are extremely sharp. So when you're not using them, always keep them covered. Just don't leave it lying around. You never know. It's really sharp. So moving on, one of the other things that you're going to definitely need is a pair of good tweezers. Something which is easy to manage, easy to hold. Point at the end is really useful for picking up small little screws, small little things, and for delicate work. So you want to have one of these handy at all times in your little workbench that you have going. The Kapton tape. This is something that you're going to need for most KATO locomotive analog to DCC conversion. A little piece of KATO tape does, or Kapton tape, what am I saying? Kapton tape does actually come in your package with your DCC board. But it doesn't hurt to buy a little roll for yourself. It's $10 from any good electrical store, so good to have on hand in case you mess up with a little piece that is actually provided to you. Miscellaneous items. I like to have a little multimeter handy at all times with me. It's useful for checking for short circuits. Have you isolated the rails like you're supposed to? Isolation of rails is something I will explain to you why that's necessary, what needs to be done. So it's a useful tool just to check. Do you have a short circuit or you don't? Nothing else. You can even check to see if you have enough power going to your actual board from your rails through your wheels. This is a useful tool. The only reason I have this is mainly to actually detach my LED from my board, and there's a similar one on your actual DCC board. Cut it and resolder it, because most of the time your locomotive may have its little internal moldings which do not correspond very well. So you're going to have to cut it, bend it as you see in this picture, and resolder it on, which once again gets us to another little piece of equipment that you might need, which is a soldering iron. Now have a look at the locomotive from inside, and these are the LED lights, and as you can see they are bent downwards. So that bend I showed you in the previous picture, that's what that bend was for. Very important. So once you unsolder it and remove it with your little soldering iron, I use a Weller, and this is a butane based soldering iron. Useful, small, don't need to connect too many wires. And easy to light. It basically lights similar to a Bic lighter. It has a little lighting handle. Fill the butane from the back, and it gives you a pretty decent time. Here's a little Bic kind of igniter. This little knob over here controls the flow of butane. Be very careful. One thing, do not have it on full. These circuit boards are very delicate, and they will definitely just short out or burn or melt or something. Just be careful with that. Have it on the lowest setting you possibly can. It's going to take a little longer to heat up, like maybe 3-4 minutes, but safer. Well, that's about it. That's what we have for essential equipment that we will need, and I have done 99% of my DCC replacements using these tools alone and nothing else. You won't need anything else. Your scissors, your cutter, of course your DCC board, little clipper over there, tweezers, of course your locomotive, your captain tape, and you're good to go. Make sure you get the correct model number. Don't forget. See you soon.